Thanks, Matt. What's up, AJ? Thanks for the time today, man. So I believe this is your first time racing at Circuit of the Americas. So the first time you get on track is during that 50-minute practice session. What's the first thing you're going to be looking for? Is it going to be how the car feels, your braking zones in the corners? What are you looking for?
Where the hell the track goes, Marty? That's what I'm going to be trying to figure out. No, all kidding aside, we've done a lot of sim work between getting ready for the Xfinity race and the Cup race. So, uh, you know, I think the sim is fairly close on a lot of the stuff that we do. That's what we have to use with no practice over the last year now that we've been doing this during the pandemic and focusing on that. So really focus on sim work to try to get the setup right. So I think my bigger thing is just trying to see where the brake zones are, where they match up to what I've gotten used to and accustomed to in the sim. I have some good marks of what I think of the racetrack and trying to drive it. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is initially just trying to say, okay, how close is everything? I won't push the brake zones right away, but try to get after it. And then really just because the track is so long and B, because we have just such a short amount of time of practice, trying to get a feel of the race car right away, get in, make some changes and try to get as many runs in as possible. I mean, really, we're probably only going to get 2, maybe 3 runs if everything goes right.
And then second, looking a week in advance, next week, the biggest day in motorsports. What do you recall watching on the TV as a young man moving up in the sport, watching Monaco, then Indy, then 600? I know you've raced 2 of those 3 events in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it just was it's if you're a motorsports person, I mean, that was the day to wake up and you just had racing all day. And to me, it's the pinnacle of motorsports, all 3 series. So just be able to wake up and watch that, and I've been very lucky to be able to be a part of 2 of the 3 series at least, and what that day means to motorsports, to our country, to everything of having our freedom and everything that goes along with it. So I've got to experience the highs of being at Indy and driving for Roger Penske, to be at the Coke 600 and just everything that we do to salute the soldiers and everything that goes along with that day. It's fun because you love motorsports, and then it kind of brings you back to why we're getting to do it and our freedom and what it means to be a part of this country. So it's just a special day no matter what.
Thank you, AJ. Good luck this weekend, man.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Mark Garrow. Go ahead with the question, Mark.
2 quick questions, AJ. Number 1, how big of a deal would it be to win this first Xfinity Series race at COTA?
Well, I mean, it's any race that you go to, it's a big deal to win. I mean, it's hard to win these races. That's why you see the emotion on my face when we have one, because you just don't know when it's going to be the last time you win a race. So you go to a new place, there's only one chance to win it when the first time there, to be the first winner. So it'd be awesome. It's the same thing last year running Indy and running the road course. I wanted that race really bad because I thought it'd be special to be the first time to be the first winner at that race. And that's what we're going to try to do on Saturday, and, then focus on Sunday at the Cup race.
Looking at the quality of cars and experience and road race experience, could this be a dogfight, wind up being a dogfight between you and Cindric?
I mean, I think Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch are probably going to have something to say about that, and the Xfinity field just in general is so deep. So I don't think it's just going to be a 2-man show. I mean, it's going to be tough competition. It is every week. You look at the weather. There could be a big weather factor that plays into this, and obviously going to a new racetrack that nobody's truly been to in one of these cars. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot that goes along with it.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Daniel McFadden. Go ahead with the question, Daniel.
Hey, AJ, sort of building off what Marty was asking you with his questions, given that the practice sessions you're going to be having are the first sessions that aren't on a super speedway or dirt track in 14 months, what's the most important thing outside of what you're doing in the cockpit that teams, as a group could possibly work on during those 50-minute sessions that they haven't gotten to in a year?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you have a session. Well, I mean, it's take Charlotte for instance next week. I mean, it's a place that these cars and drivers have been to, and you got a general setup of what you're working on, so you can kind of fine tune from that. A place like COTA, like we don't know, so we've just worked on sim the whole time, and you're hoping it's close, and that's really when you unload. That's what we're all hoping, is that we're at least close and like, okay, we can fine tune and make one or two small adjustments. I think the biggest fear, I'm sure for a lot of people, is you unload and you're way off. You don't have the time to sit there and sling springs at it and change all kinds of front bars and stuff like that. Like you're going to have one shot at it, maybe two. Really, you're going to have one shot at it if you're way off. You're going to have two small shots at it if you're close. So I think that's what we're all hoping, at least on my end. I mean, I just hope that we're close enough that we can just kind of fine tune on it and go from there.
COTA, the first turn it's a hard, sharp left. How will that first turn at green flag racing speed? How will that compare to other road courses that you've been on?
Yeah, it's going to be chaos. I mean, quite honestly, it's going to be chaos because I've never been to COTA in person, so I'm just speaking off of what I've seen on TV and in sim in general. Like, you are literally just climbing a hill, staring at the sky, and you're kind of using the brake markers to judge kind of where you're at to begin with. And even on the sim, it's like you turn in and you hope you're in the right spot as you turn in. So that's by yourself. So on starts and restarts, when you're fanning out 3, 4, the straightaway's long enough or wide enough that you can almost probably do 4 or 5 wide, and you lose those brake markers, especially when you're under cars, like it's going to be chaos, and it's a hairpin first gear corner. So I think you're going to see some lunges. I think probably to start the race, everybody, I hope, will be a little bit calm, but I promise you, late race restarts, people are going to be sending it. People are going to miss their brake markers, and we're going to see a lot of action in turn 1.
Thank you.
Our final question will come from Anton Hreska. Go ahead with your question, Anton.
Thanks, Matt. Good afternoon, AJ. So COTA is a brand new track in the NASCAR schedule. In what way do you anticipate it to be different from any other road course you've been to?
Yeah, I mean, Anton, I think it is going to be there. It's when we were trying to do the setup, we were trying to look at every racetrack and figure out if it was similar to anything that we've been on. And we never really hit on anything that I thought was like similar. There's some corners that maybe it's kind of like Road America, but in general, especially not being on it, we don't know. And there's a lot of fast sections where you need the car to be able to have a good stable platform where it doesn't roll over too much. But there's also a lot of slow speed corners that you need that power down, and you need like the car to be soft on the exit to try to get that grip. So it's going to be a fine line to getting the car where you got good platform and it's not rolled over too much, but still have that grip. And we're all guessing at it right now. So I'm kind of interested if other teams thought it was like other racetracks, because I don't think it's like anything that we've been to on the NASCAR side of it. So that's what makes it a little bit of fun. Definitely nerve-wracking on trying to figure out the setup, and we'll all find out midday on Friday how close we actually hit it.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best for this weekend.
No, thank you.
Well, AJ, it's certainly going to be fun to watch one way or the other. Safe travels to you to Austin, Texas, and we'll see you at COTA.
Well, thank you. Sorry for the issues. And once again, I always appreciate everything that all of you do for our sport. So look forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend.